What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another World of Warcraft video for the War Within, and today I want to talk about the delves. Moreover, I want to talk about something that I personally believe should be changed about the delves, and give you guys some probably valuable information to some of you when it comes to gearing up in delves at the moment. Basically, a tips video from what I've covered so far, or from what I experienced today by doing delves, and just giving my input on delves in general. So first of all, delves at the moment are much easier when in a group compared to when you're playing solo. This right here is footage from me doing a tier 5 delve on a fairly okay geared character. We're talking 565 to 570 item level ish on this character at the moment, and we're trying to do a delve tier 5. Now, granted, I don't really know how to do this delve properly. It's been a long time, so I stood in some stuff I shouldn't stand in, but either way, the point is, delves are much harder solo than they are in a group. Now, a lot of players can do tier 8 by themselves perfectly fine, especially if you're a tank. We'll get more into that as well, but players can solo delves. They are soloable. It's soloable content, it's bite-sized content, as Blizzard said, but when delves were announced, I was really hoping for something very soloable, where you would not be incentivized to be in a group. And at the moment, just to put this into perspective, on a tier 6 delve, the final boss had 35 million health HP, 34 or 35, on a tier 6. Meanwhile, a tier 8 in a 5-man group, the boss has 70 to 80 million, basically double the health, 2 tiers higher in a 5-man party. So scaling is either so that solo is scaling way too difficult, or group is scaling to become way too easy, because once again we go from delve tier 6 to tier 8, and we increase the party number from 1 to 5, but the health only doubles. And the thing is, from tier 5 to tier 6, the health almost doubled as well in single player content, and apparently the boss health is almost the same when you're playing solo on tier 8 as when you're in a group. So when you're inviting 5 people, the boss doesn't get 5 times the health. If anything, he gets like plus 10% or plus 20%. Instead of a lot more health. So being in a 5-man party, you're just it goes way faster and it's much easier. You are very unlikely to fail the delve, and in addition to that, if you die in a party and you get resurrected, you don't waste lives, because when you're doing a delve, you have X amount of lives. So you can see I have 4 out of 5 right now. If you're solo, you have to click release, and the thing is, you don't lose those lives until you click release. So if you're in a party and somebody rests you, you can die and still be on 5 out of 5 lives by just simply not releasing. Somebody rests you, even a combat rest or out of combat rest, just any revive ability, you don't lose that health, you don't lose that life, and you can keep going. So you can, in theory, in a group, wipe a billion times, as long as, well, not wipe, as long as one person survives and that one person can rest. So for example, a druid who can sprint and then prowl, night elf, shadow meld, something like that, to just get out of combat and then rest people, even a rogue with cables to get people back up. Just some way to be able to survive a pull and then just revive people, and you literally don't lose that attempt and you don't lose the life. So for me, I just feel like delves were supposed to be something that solo players could do to fill their vault. We had raids, we had PvP, we had mythic dungeons, but delves were announced to be something that catered to those solo players. But instead, at the moment, you are heavily incentivized to do delves in a group, because number one, it's easier, it goes faster, and you pretty much can't fail. Because once again, the whole life mechanic doesn't even count, as long as you get revived instead of pressing release. So there's just so many incentives to do delves in a group right now, compared to doing it solo. There's way too many incentives to do so. Now, to piggyback on that and give you guys some advice as well on this at the same time, which is basically the exact same thing, grouping is much easier than doing it solo. If you have any characters you want to do delves on this weekend, I believe now is a good time to do so in a group, if you want to get that brand experience, if you want to gear up quickly, because I do believe that this scaling is not meant to be. delves in groups being so much easier, we're talking about twice as easy than doing it solo, is obviously a scaling mess up on Blizzard's part. So I believe if we give it a week or two from now, maybe even faster as well, they will do something about that. And what I think is going to happen, either solo becomes easier, or group becomes harder, or both. Because I believe that solo at the moment is a little bit too difficult, perhaps, and grouping is a little bit too easy. Well, way too easy. So either grouping, like the group scaling, has to become more difficult, they have to make the delve more difficult in a group setting, or they have to make it more easy in a solo setting. Now the thing is, for solo, if you want a solo, being a tank is the go-to. Like even for me as a monk, I am a DPS spec monk, it is better for me to just go tank, and then spec Bran into DPS, and for me to just keep aggro and kite. If I keep aggro and kite and let Bran do his thing, I can solo the delve as well. It's pretty easy, it just takes more time. And the meta there is just to be a tank, kite, take damage, mitigate damage, and just run around, sprint around. And once again, kite, let Bran do his thing, which is kind of weird. It just makes it so that any class that can be a tank pretty much has a huge advantage, but any class that can't be a tank has a huge disadvantage, like a rogue or a mage. I was gonna say warlock as well, but demonology warlocks actually are pumping at the moment, and can use their pets as a tank for them. So mages, for example, and rogues, they're not really having the best time here. Even priests, pretty much anyone who can't tank, are not having the best time here. Now, I pretty much showed you some of the background of me doing a tier 5 delve in the background while I was talking about this, and here you have me doing a tier 7 delve in a group, and I believe even just from watching this little bit of gameplay that I have in the background, you can see that things in a group, they just melt, they die way faster, because once again, the health pool, the scaling is just weird, to the point where even the mobs and the bosses, they don't have that much more health in a group than they do solo. So being solo is just way more difficult, takes way more time, and being in a group is way easier and goes way faster. And once again, this right here, the previous part you saw, the last 6 minutes of the video, was a tier 5 delve. This is tier 7, so technically 2 tiers above, and it looks way easier. This is like, yeah, this is just way easier, way more comfortable, and being in a group absolutely changed delves for me, because I was hard stuck on tier 6. Now, once again, I did not have the best gear. I can't even blame the gear at this point. It's some skill as well. But either way, I was stuck in tier 6. I did get tier 6 down, but I was not going to try tier 7, because tier 6 was, I just barely got tier 6 down. But then again, when I got into a group, we smashed out tier 7 right into tier 8, and we blasted some tier 8s as well. Absolutely no problem. Not a single wipe, really. We lost 1 life in 4 tier 8 delves in total. So yeah, being in a group, super easy for delves. I'm not sure how to feel, but I'm just gonna say, take advantage of it while you can, I guess. For gearing up characters, it is very, very easy. Either way, that's the video, kind of a rant on delves and talking about my experience doing delves in the season for the first time, because we can now push delves. And once again, I was really looking forward to doing delves. I still am. I love delves. I'm also the kind of guy who, when delves was announced at BlizzCon, I was sitting there thinking, and I think I said this on stream, this sounds really bad. It actually sounds kind of shit. It sounds like Mr. Pandaria Scenarios 2.0. But when I got to play delves on the beta, I changed my mind completely. Like, I love delves. I have been loving them since beta, and I love them right now as well. I just wish that, or I wish/hope that they fix scaling, because delves for me, I would love to go in solo, challenge myself, and not feel like I have to play a certain way. At the moment, grouping is so easy that I feel like I have to be in a group. Like, I can push a tier 11 right now in a group, as easy as doing a tier 9 solo, or tier 8 solo. So if you want to push those tiers in delves, grouping is the way to do so. And I want to challenge myself in a solo scenario, maybe even add a delve that can only be done solo. I don't know, just something has to change, and I think that's going to be the title of the video, something has to change. Either way, that's the video for now, so if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below and let me know your thoughts on delves in the comments. Now, completely sideline, not relevant to delves at all, well, technically kind of, because you can make gold in a certain delve as well. If you want to make gold in the War Within, check out my War Within Goldmaking Guide as well, kind of a shout out / sponsor segment here. But either way, I've made a gold guide for the War Within where we cover professions, gold farms, literally pretty much any way to make gold in the War Within. And in addition to that, when you buy the guide, you get access to an exclusive gold making Discord server where I give you guys early access to videos and exclusive videos as well. Now, having spoken to a lot of people about this, they say that the guide itself is really valuable and the Discord server is equally as valuable. So you get basically Patreon service for a one-time payment. So you get videos for a long time, you get early access to videos, exclusive videos, and updates sent to you for free. It is Patreon level service that people pay monthly for, but in this case it's a one-time payment. So either way, if you want to get that guide and support me at the same time, the link will be down below. That's the video though. Thank you for being here, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye bye now, bye bye.